and welcome back to another video of jPlay. And today I'm doing a relatively quick episode, at least that's what I think, because I'm going to do a solo playthrough of Shardhunters, which is kindly provided to me by Unseen Domains. This was originally a Kickstarter from what I understand. It's still available, so you can still go to Indiegogo and grab yourself a perk that's called there. So I will definitely provide a link to the campaign or the page on Indiegogo in the description of this video. And from what I also understand, they might be also going for a second print run sometime this year, maybe also an additional campaign, which is why they reached out to me and said, hey, are you interested? And yes, I was. I played this game with my family, 2-3 players, numerous times already, really enjoying this. I have never played the solo mode of this game here. That's what I'm doing today. So I have no clue how things turn out, but I'm really curious. So yeah, let's unpack it and see how it goes. In Shardhunters, we are trying to get blood shards during the so-called hunts, and then with those blood shards we can recruit new heroes. And whoever has 5 heroes in their ranks and will then win the next hunt will be the overall winner. So you really play over a series of so-called hunts. Each hunt consists of 4 rounds of combat. Then you see who has basically won the most combats or who has received the most cards and who is then called the winner of this hunt, and then you also get a blood shard. But ultimately you're really trying to get 5 heroes. We all start with 1. In the solo mode, the solo player or the AI player starts with 2. And again, whoever has 5 and then win the next hunts of 4 combats, or majority of those 4 combats, is then the overall winner in this game. I already prepared the hero decks for us. On the left hand side, this is my deck, and on the right hand side, that's the deck of the AI player. And that's important because it seems that the cards that the AI player is using are somewhat more straightforward. So there are no real decisions that he has to make. You can apply the effects easily. This is how I understand it, and I get the rest. In a multiplayer game, all those heroes are shuffled together, and then each player starts with 1 hero, and then basically from this deck will acquire new heroes whenever you have enough blood shards. In order to hire a hero later on, you need 3 blood shards in total, and then you get a new hero, and again you need to go to 5. Apart from that, there is really not a lot of difference when playing this solo versus a multiplayer game. So again, I'm really curious to see how things go. Maybe we should start by drawing our first heroes. You draw basically the top card from the deck, and there are 2 symbols that you can find. Now let's start with our hero. So that's the right hero, and that's Anna. She's the assassin, but the most important thing is she has a blood shard token, which means she can be one of our starting heroes. So that's perfectly fine. Let's see what she is or will bring to the table for us. And her special ability allows us, if you play at least 3 white cards in a combat, you get a blood shard. Okay, that's really nice. The thing is, you only ever play 3 cards usually once during each of those hunts. But I come to that in a second. But overall, that's definitely something that's a good starting ability for us, actually. So I think we will basically put her next to our ranks, and then we will see who the other AI player will start with. So that's Nimrod. If during the hunt you looted at least 1 card with a value of 4, he gets a blood shard, so that's definitely easy, but basically he only needs 1 card with a value of 4. There are only, I believe, 3 in the deck for a 2-player game, so I think maybe that's not too easy. And then the second card is Morgan. For every yellow card you looted, you get a blood shard. Okay, so wow, those are really 2 nice shard generating cards. So he will start with both of those, and all of those heroes are active. That's also a difference to the multiplayer game. You can only ever bring 2 concurrent heroes to each of those hunts. In the solo mode, basically all of the players can bring their whole crowd with them. Okay, so we will park those next to the side. We will now move into the hunt, which means we are now going to those monster decks. I shuffled these cards already quite significantly, actually, but let's do that again. So each of us will now get 7 cards. So let's start 1, and we will not be using those, at least not for this hunt. So this is pretty much, those 7 cards are the cards that we will now be using for our very first hunt. This is the deck for the solo player, the AI player, and this is our deck. Apparently we can look at our cards, we will not look at those cards. He will simply play cards from the top. So yeah, let's bring these cards in front of us. And that's an interesting hand, actually. We only have so-called white cards, so those are all considered whites. There are also blue cards, there are red cards, and there are yellow cards. These are apparently colored cards. It's important to note that, let's say, we will now play cards, and we would simply compare the values of the cards. So I play a 3, for example, he plays a 2, I win. Simple as that. The thing with the colored cards is interesting because if we both play a 3, for example, and he plays maybe a red 3, then he played a colored card. And colored cards are then tiebreakers in respect to ties, apart from what they else doing. So for example, when you play a blue card, something else happens, and when compared to when you play a red card. But in this case, yeah, we have to make a choice now. And again, as I mentioned, there are 4 rounds of combat. The first round, we will all play 1 card. In the second round, we will play 2 cards. In the third round, guess what? We will play 3 cards. And in the last round, we will play our 1 remaining card. So we will play all of those cards in this combat round. And of course, as mentioned, I want to have as many cards as possible. On top of this, I have to remember the special ability of Anna here, my hero, the assassin. If you play at least 3 white cards in a combat, you get a blood shard. As I just said, I can only play 3 cards in the third round of combat, because that's the only time I can play 3 cards. I only have white cards, so I think we should be able to get a blood shard here. It doesn't really matter if we win this combat. We get a blood shard anyway. And I think this is something I forgot. We all start the game with 1 blood shards right off the bat anyway. That's true for the solo player here too. So, okay. What should I be doing? So I will now play 1 card and he will play 1 card. So I can now make a choice to play a very high card and say, okay, this can be very likely I'm going to succeed. But there is also a but to that, because if I play the 4 card here, which most likely at least result in a tie, because everything that he can play is a 4-2. The thing is, if he plays a blue card played in combat means that the lowest result win the game, unless someone else is playing a red card, or himself, for example. So this is kind of a risk, but I still think that's the best bet. Normally, if I would really anticipate he has a lot of blue cards, or he's going for blue cards, then maybe I would go with a 1. Because I know also for a fact that blue cards only come with a 2, for example, never with a 1, unless you have a certain hero. So you have to know the card distribution in this game. I'm really talking way too much for this simple game, but I think it has to make sense. So in this case, I will play the 4, and we will now simply reveal the card from the AI player. Okay, that's a 2. That's an easy one. I played a 2. He played a 2. I played a 4. So I win this combat. I take this card next to me. And this pretty much helps me winning the game. Again, after 4 rounds of combat, the one player who has the most cards, not the value, the most cards in his victory pile gains another blood shard. And that's basically already 2 cards in. Now we will all play 2 cards. And I think we could now decide to say, okay, let's assume he's going for a blue card. And that's something I think you have to calculate for some reason, because there are blue cards and we don't have blue cards. So the probability that he has some blue cards is relatively high. And keep in mind, again, with blue cards, the player who has to place the lowest amount of fighting power wins. So I'm playing these 2 cards with a 2. That's a 4. Doesn't really look promising. And that's a red card. So in total, that's 6 points for him. I only played 2 points, which means the AI player won this combat. So he has now 4 cards versus my 2 cards I have. So now we go into the next round of combat. In the third round, so we will now play all 3 cards. And I think, no, I really want to make it certain. So I will play the 8. Of course, it's still very likely he's going to play a blue card now. So those are my 8 cards, 8 combat points. That's a 1, and he did it. Oh, that's terrible. So he played 3 points worth of combat. I have 8. Normally, I would say, yes, awesome, I won. But again, he played a blue card, which means the lowest result wins. Oh no, and I think he has to play yet another card. Sorry, I forgot that. But anyway, it's only a 5. We have an 8. It's not a red card because a red card would usually supersede the blue card here, but in this case it's 5 versus 8. He won it. Good thing is I can still use the special ability from Anna because I played 3 white cards. I automatically gain a shard, and yeah, that's pretty much his cards. And then I think no matter what we are playing, we will not win this combat. And he even won the final round of combat with our remaining cards. Well, that's a yellow 3, we have a yellow 2. So basically he has definitely won this thing. So we only have 2 cards. He has, I don't know the rest, I think a 12 should it be. So he gains a blood shard for that. On top of this, we now have to check his special abilities, because for every yellow card you looted, you get a blood shard. And keep in mind, he basically, oh, that's so insane. 1, 2, and 3. He looted 3 of those cards, and that's so insane. So he gets 3 more for this. Wow, that's the perfect card for him. And if during the hunt you loot at least 1 card with a value 4, yes, he also has a 4 in this case, he gets yet another blood shard. Wow, this will be a very, very short playthrough actually. Oh, that's terrible here. This one is really terrible. Yeah, but that's pretty much the end of the round. We ended up with 2 blood shards, which is not enough to get us another hero. He has 6. He will spend all 6 of those to get 2 more heroes. So he's already up to 4. And keep in mind, he win, or you can win if you have 5 heroes, and you also have to win another round of the hunt. Oh, that's insane. Okay. This is his first hero. He will simply get the topmost card from his deck, and that's Benedictus. If during the hunt you looted at least 3 white cards of different values, you get a blood shard. Okay, so I need 3 white cards, or he needs 3 white cards of different values. Shouldn't be really that big of a deal actually. Okay, so Benedictus will join the ranks here too. He still has 3 more to go, which means he gets a 4th hero. Wow, that's so insane. And that's Luther, the Plague Doctor. And he says if you lose the 3rd round of combat, you get a blood shard. As mentioned, I cannot do any buys, so in this case, or recruiting. So all of those cards will basically come back to the table. We will basically reshuffle the whole pile here. I think I will do the majority of shuffling on camera, and then we pretty much go directly into the second hunt. And wow, this game can be over pretty much, yeah, after 2 more hunts. Wow, that's really insane. He was incredibly lucky in this one. Again, we will deal out the cards. And then we go into the second hunt. Okay, those are our cards. Now we have 3 yellow cards, and to be honest, I think there are not too many others out there. I think there's really not a whole lot of yellow cards in the deck, at least for 2 players, as far as I remember. So again, I have to make a choice for my first round of combat. Again, I could, because again, I can assume, hey, there are no blue cards in my hand. So it's really likely that he has at least 1 blue card in this deck, maybe even 2. The thing is, with the very first card, that's always a risk. So I think, but I also want to make sure he's not getting the yellow cards, which is really shards for him. So I think I will go in with a 3, with a white 3. So that's his card. And again, he does it to me. Are you kidding me? Okay, so he has a 2. It's a blue card, those reds, and by the way, the artwork on those cards is really, really nice actually. Yeah, he wins the first round of combat. That's really, really terrible actually. Now we go to the second round of combat, and I will play 2 cards now. He already played a card, so it's not unlikely he's going to, I think I will play those 2 cards now. Actually, I really want to secure those. So that's a 5. He will also play 2 cards now. That's a 2. That's a 4. Again, this is really, really insane. The thing is, I had a lot of choices, but because the first card was a blue. If the first card wouldn't have been a blue, I'm pretty sure I would be low now with this run here, because really I anticipated the blue has to come out at some point in time. Problem is, he had them both pretty much in a row. Not only he gets 2 more shards for those, he basically also gets those cards. Ah, that's so insane. That's really so insane. And now I'm very likely not going to win this one. So I will definitely go in here with my 3 cards, because keep in mind, because of Anna's ability, we get at least a blood shard, which then gives us an additional card for the next round, which we really need. But I think the game can be over then already. So he will play 3 cards. Again, that's a 2, that's a 3, and that's 6. In this case, again, he wins, and I tell you why. It's not the lowest card, because he played a red card as well. This supersedes the blue card. So in total, we simply score it up. So he has 6 points worth of combat. We have 6 points worth of combat. So that's a tie. Hooray! The thing is, he played 2 colored cards. I didn't play any, which means he breaks the tie. He gets all of those cards. Wow, that's so insane. We get our blood shard because we played 3 white cards. Then we have to play our remaining card. That's a 2. He gets all of those, which means for the 3 yellow cards he just got, he will get 3 of those things. I'm pretty sure he also had a 4 in it. Let's see. Yeah, there is a 4, so he gets yet another blood shard. And he gets a blood shard because he won this whole thing. And I'm pretty sure he also got 3 different, valued cards, which is pretty much Benedictus here. If you hunt, you looted 3 white cards of different values. He got those. He gets yet another blood shard. That's so insane. And he didn't lose the last combat, so he doesn't get a blood shard from this too. But overall, man, that's really terrible. Again, he will go for 2 more heroes, but this also means, he can win if he wins the next hunt. So let's go with the first one. So he will spend 3 of those. He will draw the next hero, and that's Matteo. If you win the 4th card, you get a blood shard. Okay, doesn't really matter. He will gain a 6th hero, which is definitely possible, but you need only to have 4. That's Titus. If you win the first combat, you get a blood shard too. This is now kind of good news, because those are all blood shard heroes. So those heroes with this symbol give you all benefits for getting blood shards. There are also heroes that have a star. They usually somewhat help you in other ways during the combat, for example. He doesn't have a lot of those. I think 3 out of 10 only of his deck are pretty much star heroes. The rest are really blood shard heroes, but he needs those blood shards anyway. So he now has 6 heroes in total. The good thing is we can also spend our 3 blood shards, which we will totally do, to get 2 heroes, and we get to choose one of those. Now, let's have a look at those. And here we have Yana, the Corruptor. If you win the 2nd combat, you get a blood shard. And this is one of those stars. At the beginning of every hunt, you draw 1 card. And I think this is what I need. I need more choices. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's go with Ignatius. She simply goes back. I think we can maybe get her back later on, but for now we will totally go with Ignatius here. Nice. I think this is what we really needed. Let's deal out the cards. And 1 more for us. So that's his deck. This is our deck. Let's see what we got. And apparently we have at least some choices this round. Oof, it's still not great. The thing is, we have 8 cards, but we will still only play 7 out of those apparently. So I'm not assuming that his first card will not be a blue card. I have 2 cards, and it's not very likely that he will go forward. So I think let's go with a 4, because this keeps us from, maybe he needs those 4 cards, or cards with a value of 4 for additional blood shards, And that's a 1, that's perfect. And it also means he doesn't get the yellow card here. So we have won the first round of combat. Okay, that's definitely a good start. With our second one, I think let's go in slow with a 3. And again, we are assuming we are playing the lowest card now. Let's see what he gets. That's a 3. And again, this supersedes us, but it's a tie. And we all have the same amount of colored cards in our deck. So that's really now considered to be a tie. Doesn't matter that his colored card is only 1. It's really the amount of colored card. That's the way I understand it. So that's a tie. We get basically all our cards back. So that's okay. And now we are going in with 3 cards. And my idea is we really want to power on Anna's special ability. I think we have to do that now. So I will go in high. Of course, it could really mean that he now plays a blue card. We have lost it. But again, because we played it, we get a blood shard. Because again, Anna's special ability here. So let's see. That's a 3. That's okay. That's a 2. Blue 2. And again, that's terrible. Okay, I think we may have lost the game now. 3-2 doesn't really matter because yellow doesn't really count for anything other than being a colored card. So that's 7 versus my 11. He played a blue card, so he won this. And he got a yellow card, so it's very likely. I think we are losing it now. I think we cannot win anymore. Are you kidding me? I think the game is over. Then I will play this card here. Yeah. And even here we are not lucky. Are you kidding me? This could have been a 3 or 2. Why 2 then? At least we would have gotten this card. But this means he will also gain this one because again, the lowest card wins. It's the blue card. 2, he has a 1, so he won. This card simply goes back to the pile, and I think this is his victory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Versus our measly 4 here. He is already at 5 or more heroes. He won the hunt, so he has completely annihilated us. Wow, that was really quick. I didn't anticipate it, but he was extremely lucky. Of course, I did make some assumptions. Those assumptions were wrong. But that's what this game is actually all about. Because there are a lot of those situations. He thinks that I think that she thinks. And he has this hero. That's why he's playing this here. It's a little bit more randomly. Because there are no real informed decision being done by the AI player apparently, but that's really the interesting piece in the multiplayer version of the game. There's really a lot of things how you really identify his playstyle. He usually plays a low card first, or he goes in with a red high card, or whatever it is. So a lot of this and that, and it's definitely also still intriguing in the solo experience, I might add. At least again, this was my very first session here, because you also have to make some assumptions about probability. Apparently, I was completely wrong with basically all my assumptions I was doing, but still was really, really enjoyable. I think I still have gotten a third token here, so maybe just for the laughs, spend it, those 3, and we will get a new hero. That's Ulrich. Okay, the judge. If you play 3 cards of the same value, you get a blood shard. That's nice, because those can be also different colored cards. And here we have Alicia, the sorceress. If the total of the cards you played in the combat is 10 or more, you get a blood shard. So in this case, I would most likely go for Ulrich, because yeah, I think that's definitely easier achievable than this one here. And then there's really, as you can see, a whole pile of other cards. We have Constantine, the strategist. If the total value of the cards you played in combat is exactly 9, you get a blood shard. Philippe, the swindler. If you play 2 identical cards in the second combat, you get a blood shard. That's really something which works out pretty well. I remember to have used him quite often, actually. Always when I get him, I hold on to him. If you loot at least 8 cards during the hunt, you get a blood shard. So really a whole lot of cards. Cassandra is an interesting one, the fortune teller. When all the cards have been given at the start of the hunt, so you know what cards you have, you will then basically guess the value of the top card. And then if you're right about that card, you also get a bloodshot. So if I say it's a 3 and whatever, maybe let's simply see, let's shuffle those, and yeah, it was a 3. I would have gotten a bloodshot right off the bat. And again, there are a lot more cards in this deck, but apparently that's already game over. So I really hope you enjoyed my little playthrough of Shardhunters using the solo mode of the game. Really intriguing, relatively challenging, to be honest. Of course, there is a lot of luck to it. And I think this was the standard version of the game. I believe there is even, where does it say? Yeah, here. They start with 2 random heroes on normal difficulty and 3 on hard. So I have no clue how to win this on hard, actually. But again, I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, a huge shout out to all of my patrons out there. Really appreciate your support. So if you want to support my channel, go to my page on Patreon and support it. I really appreciate the support of my existing patrons so far. Of course, like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here, and hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And yeah, until then, bye bye.